Hello, everybody, and welcome to this very special, very live episode of the Diz Unlimited Universal Show. I am Ryno, and today I am going to be answering your questions about Universal Epic Universe, the brand new theme park opening at Universal Orlando Resort, May 22nd, 2025. It's a very exciting time to be a theme park fan, a very exciting time to be a Universal fan, and hey, if you're not a Universal fan, it's a great time to become one. I hope everybody is doing well today. Thank you for joining me. I left a post on the Diz Instagram. We sent out an email to some of our travel agents, and I've been paying attention to the comments left on the YouTube videos as well. So I'm going to go through that and try and answer any questions that people might have about this brand new area, this brand new theme park, the 3 new hotels as well. I did get a peek at the Helios Grand Hotel during my media event that Universal Orlando Resort invited the Diz to. Thank you very much for that. Hashtag hosted. Before we get started today, I do want to remind you that this podcast and everything that we do here at the Diz Unlimited is brought to you by Dreams Unlimited Travel. They're experts at helping you plan the perfect Universal vacation. And when you book with them, it costs you nothing extra on your trip, and you help support the channel and all of the content that we produce here. So check them out, dreamsunlimitedtravel.com, for a free, no obligation quote today. It's also brought to you by our Patreon supporters. And if you want to learn more about how you can get exclusive content from different members of the Diz team, you can head over to patreon.com today. Okay, now that I've said all that, I do also want to acknowledge to our live listeners, and viewers, I don't know what is going on today. I look very green or like jaundiced, one of the two. To my left is my Disney wall, and it is all green. So I think after this, I'm going to move my desk because I think I'm getting a little bounce back from my lights, and it's making me look a little sickly. Or it's just, I'm going to say it's in theme with my Universal Monsters shirt that I am wearing. So a little bit about the park before we get started. If you are not familiar, this brand new park, it is separated from the main 3 parks. So at Universal Orlando Resort, we have Universal Studios Florida, the original park, and then came Universal Islands of Adventure and Universal City Walk, and those kind of exist in a similar way. If you are if you've ever been to like Disneyland, it's kind of this all-encompassed like campus sort of a thing to me, where you've got 2 theme parks and a dining and a shopping district out there with a little bit of some fun attractions. Like Universal has some escape rooms out there that are themed to Jurassic World and Back to the Future. They have some great entertainment and themed. I want to say clubs, but I want a different word than clubs. But we're all fam in the club. But yeah, that's their one area, and then of course they have numerous hotels that are off of that. This area, it's new. It's like in a separate area. It's not that far though. I don't want people to feel like they have to go forever to get away from to get away from the resort. It's about 15. I feel like on a good clear day, maybe 15 minutes. But you're looking at somewhere between a 15 to 20 minute car ride, bus ride. Universal does run buses back and forth from the hotels and the parks. And pretty easy to get to. I mean, I would take the bus if I was staying at Universal Orlando Resort. I don't like driving in Orlando, and I'm not sure anybody out there is like, I love it, unless you are destined to be in like a Mad Max film or something like that. But this new park has, let me tell you about this whole new area. There are 2 prime value resorts on either side. They are like sister resorts. There is the Universal Stella Nova Resort and the Universal Terra Luna Resort. Both of those are open, and they're fairly... they're value resorts. They're nice. They have pool, hot tub, gym, arcades. There's rec centers. There's lobby bars. There's pool bars. So there's dining there. And of course, at Universal Stella Nova, you can actually walk to Universal Epic Universe. I'm not 100% sure where you're going to enter from where you walk across there, but it's definitely, there are sidewalks and crosswalks that can make that possible. Universal Terra Luna is the sister one right across the street there. They're both right outside of the convention center too. So if even if you're not doing a Universal Orlando Resort vacation, I think they're really affordable if you're coming for like MegaCon or something like that. They're somewhere in the price range of like, I don't know, $125, $100, usually under $200, which I feel like is really nice. We have plenty of content on this channel covering our experiences of staying there at opening, and Both those hotels are on this channel. So if you are listening to this, you can head over to youtube.com/DizUnlimited, and there's some of that information. I did get to go into the Helios Grand Hotel. Now, this is the hotel that it has its own exclusive entrance into the theme park, and the hotel is in the theme park. So if you've requested a hotel or a theme park view, you are literally looking right inside of where everyth's happening. And I think this is going to be really incredible at night, because when we did our preview, the sun was like setting and I could see the lights sort of turning on. So it's very exciting. This theme park is built to be seen at night. I think it's got a lot of lighting on it. I can't wait for that. I've heard that they've adjusted the team member previews that they're still in now accordingly to do like 1 to 10. So I guarantee there's going to be a lot more pictures and videos of the park at night. So excited to experience it in that time of day. What was I going to say? The Universal Epic Universe theme park. This is 5 new worlds, because this is a universe, so they're worlds. We don't call them lands. You have Celestial Park, which is like the connective tissue. It's like the main area. It's kind of themed around constellations and I want to say Greek gods, like Helios. I could be incorrect. I'm not an expert on that. I forgot what they said, and I don't have it written down right in front of me. So please forgive me. But this area is where you enter the park through the Chronos, and it's this very cool, very impressive structure. And then I don't have pictures because we're doing this live in a way where it's just like me, so I apologize. But again, we've got some videos. I've shared a video on this YouTube channel of my experience of the park and everything that I got to see while I was there. It's like a little less than an hour video, so if you want to see any of that, please check that out. I appreciate everybody who has watched that as well. But this area then goes into these 4 other worlds. So you have the Super Nintendo world, which also has Donkey Kong Country as a part of it. Then you have the Dark Universe area, which is Universal Monsters. Then we have Harry Potter and the Ministry of Magic, or the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, Ministry of Magic. And then there is the How to Train Your Dragons Isle of Berk world as well. So a lot of fun. A lot of cool experience. They all have, each one of those worlds has various amounts of attractions, dineries, eateries, whatever we call them, themed drinks, themed food, themed shows, themed character walk-arounds, all this sort of stuff. Really cool, really exciting. I'm going to go into the chat right now here, or actually, let me answer some questions I have ahead of time, and then I'm going to come back to you in the chat room to just give you guys more time here. I'm going to start with the man, the myth, the legend himself. John actually sent me a couple of questions that he had about this, because he said, I'm not a fan of the characters, themes, and IPs I am seeing in the new park. He said, except them for the monster stuff. Will I still enjoy it? What would you suggest I focus on, if not the themes? I actually found that during my experience, so I will be 100% honest with you, and I am doing everything I can to watch them before I go. I actually haven't seen any of the How to Train Your Dragon movies. I've seen the trailers, I've seen clips of them and stuff, and I know my nephews were really into it. I've seen other kids that are really into it. I know who Hiccup is and Toothless, so I know a little bit about it. This area is so incredibly cool that it's one of those, like, I didn't expect to really kind of be as invested in it as I was. It was sort of an area where I kind of, I don't want to say blew it off, but I if you go back and listen to or watch one of our earlier podcasts talking about when they were announcing the different lands, I was a little skeptical of How to Train Your Dragon. I was sort of like, well, it's already done, and is it really like this pop culture? Is it in the zeitgeist? And boy, if I could have ordered and eaten my own words right there, I think in terms of saying I'm not necessarily excited for the IPs, I do still think that either you're a theme park fan or well, I'm assuming you are if you're watching this or asking me these questions. I think just in terms of a lot of, it's very different from anything that I feel like I've sort of been to before, and I feel like there's a lot in that element to look at. I will tell you, in the Ministry of Magic area, it's set in 1920s Paris, so it's a very like it's an area that I'm not really familiar for. I've really only seen the Fantastic Beasts movies once. You don't have to have seen those to enjoy it, but this area is massive, beautifully constructed. There is so much to look at here and walk around and see and do. And then there is the attraction, which is incredible, and the show, which I have not seen just yet. But there's streetmosphere going on. Like there was a live band performing while I was there, and it was awesome. In this Wizarding World area, there's actually like walk around characters. Like I saw an Auror, I saw Hogwarts students. So even though you might be like, oh, I'm not invested in this property or these IPs, I still think going around and kind of seeing how everything is built and constructed, you're going to find yourself sort of getting into it more and more. I mean, the Super Nintendo world alone is just like, you look at it, I've never seen a theme park land with so much kinetic energy. They're spinning coins, the mushrooms are moving back and forth. You've got like Goombas going up and down. It's just it's a feast for the eyes. But also, if you're like, well, yeah, sure, whatever, I think that the restaurants are going to be a hit. I haven't really eaten at much so far. The Oak and Star Tavern is where they gave us lunch, but they gave it to us in a buffet style, and I don't traditionally film or talk about that usually because I do feel like it's not really indicative of what you're going to get as a guest, like a day guest, because this is a quick service restaurant where you go up and order. But I will tell you what they served us from the buffet was this will probably be the first restaurant where I'm like, I want to go back here and eat again. It's very good. And I've heard the Pizza Moon is really good. I know there's a bunch of different themed bar. Like there's a Celestiki. Am I saying that right? I don't know now. But that sort of ties in a little bit to Volcano Bay, which is fun. The Stardust Racers has a little tie into Back to the Future. There's a lot of these like fun little sprinkles of that sort of stuff. Also, do not underestimate that carousel that's out there. It's going to be a vibe at night in the Celestial Park area. I think the thing that for me that has me very excited, sort of in line with this question, is I can't wait for this to be a part of the annual passes, because I can see myself as a local really wanting to go back and like try out the dining. I think might be a hit. There is a bar attached to the Oak and Star Tavern called the Plastered Owl, which has a really interesting story to it that I can't completely remember. It's about an owl who maybe like drank too much and fell down the trunk of a tree, and he got his like friends involved. I wasn't 100%. I didn't get it all because I was filming and taking pictures, but it sounded really fun, and it's a really sort of nice bar area. But they're like craft cocktails, so there's stuff, there's food, there's drinking, there's that sort of stuff. Will you enjoy it? Not focused on those sort of things. I still think, as somebody who likes the theme park, there's a lagoon here, or I don't want to say lagoon because that implies it's like massive. There's a water area. Which I think it was kind of going off during the day. I think there's going to be like a nighttime sort of Kiss Goodnight show or something like that. I think it might do it a couple times during the day is what they were maybe alluding to. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. So I do genuinely think if you are somebody who, even you're not into the IPs, I still think that there's enjoyment to be had here. The next question is, I'm bringing my nephew and his family to Orlando at the end of the year. His kids will be 3 and 9. It will be their first visit. Do I spend the time and money to add this to their first visit or stick with Disney? I 1000%. 3 and 9, I think that these kids are going to love the How to Train Your Dragon area. And there are 3 attractions and a show over here, as long as tons of walk around area. The How to Train Your Dragon Isle of Berk area is somewhere where I was like, this is what I really, really wanted Galaxy's Edge to be. And it didn't live up to that. It's full of life. So like right off the back, not even talking about the attractions, I again, so like not being familiar with the property, I know there's a guy with a big mustache, and I think his like arm and leg are missing, maybe because they got eaten by a dragon or something like that. A big, like very ostentatious sort of type of a character. He came out, he's got a whole area where you can just like, and it's not like line to go up, I don't think. I think it's just going to be he's there and you kind of see him and talk to him or whatever. But in his area, there is this massive, like 1-to-1 scale, I'm imagining, dragon that's like sleeping and he's breathing. And the fun part is he's like blowing toward this stove. And so I was like, oh, the fire is how this guy is like a blacksmith. And so like there's that. I know that Astrid and her dragon come around and meet and greet. I met Hiccup and Toothless, and I didn't expect that experience to be what it was. Like I went up, like, first of all, the kudos to the entertainment people there who have this person playing Hiccup that sounds exactly like the character, like really good, like the character, but also he was giving me Adam Goldberg from the Goldbergs, but it's perfect. I never really realized those two people sounded the same. But petting you, he was like, "Oh, do you want to pet him?" And I, pet the dragon. And I was like, "Sure." And so I could put my hand on it. And it's like what it felt like. And it had this like little bit of like vibration to it. And there was like breath. And it's just one of those where I was like, wow, how cool is this? Like, I don't have to have watched a movie to be like, this is awesome. So I think, I'll be 100% honest with you. I am cheesy as all get out. The Untrainable Dragon show that is there, I have now, I've seen it, and I have to tell you, there is a part where I'm like teary-eyed, and it's not because of what happens in the show. It's because of the actual elements being the show. I would say, think about it like a great demonstration of what Universal does very well with like puppetry. There's a lot of integration with like the screen, which I do feel like if you're on the side and you have an obstructed view of the back of the stage, you are going to miss out on like one scene a little bit. It's not the end of the world, but I feel like it has a really cool, it's hard to, it's not that I'm trying not to spoil about it. It's just one of those things you kind of have to see it to understand it. I know a lot of people probably know The Mandalorian, and how that's filmed with like this like stagecraft thing screen. It's almost like that, or like the Bourne Stuntacular, like that. You know how there's like a screen in the back there? It's sort of an element like that with a little bit of stunts with like a physical set and people there, and it is cool. And again, as somebody who didn't watch the movies yet, I'm like, I could follow it really well. But there is a part with like these like clouds, and Hiccup comes out riding Toothless, and I like started crying because I'm just like, this is one of the most like incredible things I've ever seen in a theme park. He lands this dragon on the stage, gets off of it, and it's not like, oh, he rode that wing glider of a dragon. The dragon's eyes blinking, mouth moving, head thing, wings spread, tail moving, flaps. It keeps doing it as he gets off. Then he gets up and takes off again, and I'm just like it's just one of those things where I was just like, all I could think is like, my God, I want to be with like family members and be able to be like, look at this incredible thing, in front of us. I feel like it's one of those things where you're just like, this is the essence of the magic that you can get by experiencing these immersive theme parks. It's just, this is that next level, and I know it's a show brought over from one of the Asian parks, but it's still one of those things. It is one of those where like, I can't believe I was in the room when this happened, not to quote Hamilton. But so I think like 3 and 9, and I'm just talking about How to Train Your Dragon right now. Like, here's the thing, the Super Nintendo world, 3 and 9 years old, whether they play video games or not, I am still telling you, this land is cool. I do want to say that you do need to get, I don't have it with me, one of the power-up bands, and there are these like games to play. Like, first of all, you can collect coins, and your phone and the app will keep track of it for you. And then also there's games where like you have to, like, for one, there's like a piranha plant that's like sleeping, and he's like snoring up here. And this is like a massive animatronic thing, and so this game starts, it counts you down, and then you have to try and turn off all the buzzers so that the piranha plant doesn't wake up and eat you. And so there's a bunch of these different like challenges throughout the land, and if you complete like I don't think you have to complete all of them, but it's like most of them, you then can unlock access to an exclusive other sort of like mini, it's another game, but I feel like it's a miniature attraction, to be honest with you. I did it in Hollywood, and it was incredible. So I don't know, I loved it. And then the Donkey Kong area was a lot of fun too. Very nostalgic for any of us millennials out there who are really into that. I think I'm telling you right now, if you are fully invested in the Super Nintendo world and fully invested in that How to Train Dragon, like if those are hits with them, like I actually think, I think there's more than enough to do with people that are like, here, go and have fun. You know what I mean? Okay. Do you think guests will need express pass or will the queue go fast? I think you as a park goer have to ask yourself, what am I here to do? Are you here to just do all of the attractions? So somebody said there was only 11 attractions, and the way I count it, there's 13. There's 2 shows, so those count. So there's at least 13, I think, if not more. But I don't know of the last time that I went to any theme park and was able to do that many attractions in a full day. I mean, I also am a person where my goal is only to do some attractions because I like to eat and drink my way through theme parks. Like, I love to look for new themed food, exclusively made beverages, stuff like that. So I'm looking for a little bit of a mix. You know what I mean? Like, if I do 2 or 3, 4 attractions, maybe 5, great. I don't know what Disney's standard is. I think theirs is like, if you have 3, they consider it to do 3 attractions. It was like a successful day. But I will say, if you are like dead set on being like, okay, I've got this one shot and I'm a person where I just want to do every single one of these attractions, I think you are going to need Express. I do think that, I don't know, don't quote me on a time, but there was something about like the Ministry of Magic queue was built to hold like 6 hours or something of a line. It could be a little bit less than that. It could be hyperbole, but it is a massive queue that goes and not just in the scope and size, but I'm talking in length. It is a very, very long attraction. The best part though, it's all indoors, which is great. And there was a couple, like the Monsters one is mostly indoors too. The extended queue is in the back, but it's a lot of it's undercover. But I think some, I don't know. I don't want to say that line queues are going to move fast. Like, I don't know. I will tell you that I don't, when I experienced the park, they took us around like we were on a VIP tour. And if you want my like honest opinion, like, it was very nice of them to do that, but we missed some of the things that I love. Like, we also didn't do all the attractions on that VIP tour. It lasted from like 10 to 7. We took an hour for lunch. And we didn't do a couple of the attractions and didn't see one of the shows. So I think that Express is going to be worth it if you even, I'm just somebody, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't want to wait in a line for 2 hours. I'm just at that point in my life where I'm like, time is money. And so I don't like to wait for rides. Like, I'll do like, and if it's brand new, I'll do like 65 minutes, maybe 70 minutes. I'm at the point where I'm like, I'd rather go do other stuff. And there is other stuff to do in the park, which is great. So I do think if you are somebody who wants to get the most out of it and you're only doing the one day and you don't know the next time you're going to be back here, I would say it's probably worth it to do Express. The queues are very cool, though. The queue for the Monsters Unchained, the Frankenstein experiment, that ride's incredible. It had single rider. You go through the mansion, but you don't really see a lot of the queue. If you're on a VIP tour, you're not going to see any of the queue. But the queue for like a standby guest is really, really cool. I liked it a lot. And that kind of leads into the next question, which are the animatronics as cool as you're seeing on social media? I will tell you specifically there's 2 attractions where I was kind of like, whoa, like, it was the Monsters Unchained, because I was like, I need to do this ride. I didn't expect there to be as many animatronics as are in this queue, and they are there's one like right when you start in Monsters Unchained that literally I was just like kind of blew my mind. And there's so many in here. And there's a lot of really good elements in here too. Like there's something with the Wolfman where he looks up and like spits at you, sort of a thing. And then he swings at you. Like Universal shared some videos and pictures of this as well. If you want to see what they look like. I know it's on their YouTube channel, and I know we've talked about it and shown it on shows in the past, but they are cool. I'm sorry. They're really cool. This ride also improves on, I know I've seen the question in the chat about, Forbidden Journey causing a lot of nausea problems. I did take a non-drowsy Dramamine pill before I've done this park every time so far. but even when I do that, I can personally tell, like, oh yeah, this would make me a little nauseous. I didn't really feel it on the Monsters ride at all. I feel like it does a good element of, so in the Forbidden Journey, the thing is that I think what messes people up, and you don't know it, is the screen is moving with you. As the Kuka arm is going through the attraction, which is crazy. This one, it doesn't do that. Like, they're all preset where they are, or at least that's what it looks like, and you move through it that way. So I think that helps, but also the screens are more used as accent pieces in this one, as opposed to being like, look directly at this screen with all this motion going on, and you're like, what am I looking at? Like, it avoids a lot of that. So I would say this is, of all those sort of things, this is the least nausea-inducing one. The animatronic, there are animatronics inside of, and a lot more than I thought there were going to be, inside of the Battle at the Ministry, and there is one that was so cool. It did this, like, step sideways, where I was like, it must be on a platform that moves like this or something like that, because it kind of like, there's this scene you're watching, and it's like a battle, and the animatronic turns around and looks directly at your cart, and the elevator you're in jumps sideways to get away from him, but he moves with you. And I was just like, literally, I was like, was that a person? And I was like, no, it can't be a person, right? And it was one of those elements. And so there was a lot of like really cool stuff like that. So I think they're as cool as they are. Is this a one-day park? I think, again, will you? I think if you go open to close, will you leave feeling satisfied about having experienced things in the park? Yes. Do I think right now or for the foreseeable future you're going to be able to experience everything? No, because it is going to be really busy. I don't know what a full park looks like for this park yet, and I have heard that sometimes some stuff all goes down, and then we've all been in a theme park where that happens before, and it sort of causes this domino of chaos. I think it's especially hard in a brand new, where everything in a park is brand new, as opposed to it being like, oh, the brand new attraction went down, I can go do these other things. It's like, no, everybody's going to want a piece of everything. So, with that said, that's, again, I feel like Express will work in your favor for that. How many days would I suggest? I think 2 would be good. I think only because I'm like, I would go in at it like saying, I want to do these attractions. And then also going at it again where you're like, there's a lot of themed like food and drink. Like, for me personally, in the Monsters area, like, I want to do the Burning Blade Tavern. I want to do Das Steakhouse. But then also in How to Train Your Dragon, there's like Mead Hall. There's these like mac and cheese cones. In Harry Potter, they have that butterbeer crepe. And then there's Le Goblet Noir. So there's multiple places, and all of it's new. And also, like, I can only eat so much at a time. So like, I want to do that, and I want to soak in those details. I also love taking like pictures in theme parks and stuff. And so like, I want to be able to enjoy that element of it. There is a Universal Monsters like makeover thing. Hannah and I are doing it, so you just wait for that content. Is it easy to park hop from this park to the others? I think I would compare it like when you're at Animal Kingdom and you would be park hopping to another park there, because that one's the farthest away. You have to get to the buses and go from there. I would say that's probably how it's going to go, out of my experience. But yeah. I have seen questions about wheelchair and like disability access and things like that. As someone who hasn't traveled with somebody yet, or really, I've seen people in wheelchairs and stuff in the park, and I know you do have to be able to transfer a bunch of that stuff, but I can't speak to the fact, like, are there attractions where you can just like stay in the chair? I don't know that, but I do know that there's the ability to transfer. I do know that on like Stardust Racers, if you have like prosthetic limbs or anything like that, I do believe they have to be removed before you ride the attraction. I saw a sign like that, and that was the first time I really saw something really front and center posted about that. But I will do my best in the coming weeks as this park is opening and as we go back, because I got we do have like an annual pass holder day, and we have tickets for when it opens, and I'll try and be very conscious of that to report back for you, because I do think that's really important. for everybody. And let me see here. Okay, let me pop over. I'm gonna go over to the gram now. That was it. I guess John was the only travel agent that wanted to send me questions. So, I promise I'm coming to the chat. I promise I'm coming to the chat. Okay. So I got a question on Instagram that says, does the Ministry of Magic ride and the Monsters Unchained make you motion sickness like Forbidden Journey? I hear the ride vehicles have some similarities, so nervous. Forbidden Journey gets me so sick. And Dina, I would say to you, like I've already said, do what you need to do that you think will help you. I would say test a non-drowsy Dramamine at your house before you vacation. Just take it one day and just see if it has like, if you're like, oh gosh, I feel like a zombie, or try the patch, do whatever you can to do this. Like I will sometimes wear those cruise bands. I know that they're not really the same thing, but hey, whatever works, right? I would say that monsters isn't necessarily a thing to worry about the same way Forbidden Journey is. But I am going to tell you that, and I'm going to say it. I'm sorry. And I know it's probably not great. Universal doesn't love that. I keep saying it, but Battle at the Ministry of Magic, I think, is going to make a lot of people sick. So I'm going to explain to you a little bit of the mechanics of the attraction. If you're familiar, I know people bring up Tower of Terror, and that is incorrect. Yes, it is. The seating, like how you go and you sit in. Yes, that aspect of it. It's basically, it is a an elevator, right? Or whatever they call them in Harry Potter. I don't know. And you do sit in a seat. You do wear a seatbelt. It's not the drop up and down. It's not a drop ride like that. It's not meant to be. But there is an element at the beginning that is very similar to The Amazing Spider-Man at Islands of Adventure. And if you're familiar with this, there is a scene, and I think this attraction is incredible. It uses a great talking about Spider-Man, it uses a great amount of like physical environment with screens. There is a part at the end of the attraction though where you're meant to feel like you're falling off a building or being like web slinging up. I can't remember if you're going up or down, but basically it creates a sensation of you like moving. And so it's like, I never know actually if the walls are moving or if you're moving or if it's both. The beginning of this attraction is basically a giant screen. Like I want you to think like an IMAX screen. I didn't see any seams in it or anything like that. So it was really incredible to look at this thing. And you are whipping like up. But as this is happening, one elevator comes up and there are characters in it that are talking to you and you're looking at them. And then another elevator comes up and there are characters in that and you're talking to them. And then they move this way and that way and up way and this way. And there's this sort of thing where I'm just like, oh, when I was on that ride, I was like, God, please don't be the whole ride. I don't want to have to close my eyes. And this was with the Dramamine. So I'm like, that part was crazy, but the rest of it was really cool. It does move into physical environments with the sort of that screen and animatronic stuff to it. And then there's a little bit of the elevator thing at the end, but I thought it was a great attraction. I do think this is the one. If you are a motion sickness, either save it for the very end of the day. Although I worry about attractions going down. So it's like, I don't want to tell you to save it to the end of the day, but if you really do think it'll ruin your day, it's that sort of thing. Like, ultimately, you have to be the carer of yourself. Height requirements. What is there for little kids to do? Imagine we won't step foot into Dark Universe with a toddler. A toddler, I don't think so. I actually don't know. I do know the height requirements, I believe, have been released for the attraction. And that would be a great article for our Universal website, which is uofan.com. So I will bring that up after this to see if we can do that, because I know there's not like a landing page for this park. I'm not involved in that part of the, I don't want to say the business. I don't. So I'm a little, it's out there. The information is out there. And we'll try and make sure all of that is as accessible, friendly to all of you as humanly possible. I would say, I'd still think I'd go into Dark Universe. It might be scary. Here's the thing. It's a scary area. There's like bodies hung up. There's a violinist walking around, but there's also, like, I've seen on social media, I didn't see him in person, but I saw Igor. I know that the Bride and Frankenstein come out. I saw the Invisible Man while I was there. So there are like characters and things to see and do. And here's the thing. You don't want to miss out on some of this. There's a Frankenstein pretzel over there, girl. You got to get it. I know that in How to Train Your Dragon, there is a kit, like a very friendly, like all sort of family-friendly attraction that's like the one where you're on the boats in the water and just shooting the thing. I don't know that I'll ever ride that, because I'll ride it maybe last on our opening day because we're staying at the Universal Hotel. But my worst fear is getting my shoes wet in a theme park, so I don't want to do it. But I know that I know that that's on there, and this is something I'm also going to be very aware of, because I do have a really good friend who moved here, who's got a young kid who is about 2 years old. Actually, like 3 of my friends have that age range of really young kids, so I will we'll look into that. We'll make sure we have all that information. I know there was a question about, will you be able to use your refillable cups from Universal at Epic also? Like, will that cup carry over? So I will say, one of the things I loved about this park is there were water bottle refill stations everywhere, but there were Coke freestyle machines everywhere too. And one of the things I love about that is you can get cold water and ice out of that, even if you don't have the refillable cup. But I have to assume that the refillable cup works. I'm not sure if it does work. Like, does the one in the park work at your hotel? Does the one you get at the hotel work in the park? If that's the case, then I would say yes. They've got to all be on the same system. But that is something I will check in with the next time I go there. It's hard I wanted to do this, but it's also a little hard where it's like, yeah, I only did it the one time. I've only been to the park once. But these are good questions for me as someone who's trying to help you plan a great Universal vacation. I want to know what to look for so we can come back to this while it's all open and everything. So let's look at some of the questions in the chat. My gosh, I'm sorry. It's just my voice, and it's so obnoxious. With just the sound of my voice. That's Harry Potter, just so everybody knows. At this time in the video, I am going to ask that you give it a thumbs up, though, because YouTube, algorithm, all that fun stuff, just help me out there. And it would be much appreciated. So, okay, here we go. Jackie's been grabbing questions and throwing into a shared Google Doc, so I really appreciate that help, Jackie. She says, question, estimate when the ticket restrictions may be lifted so we can plan to attend the 2 to 3 days straight. Yeah, I have been wondering that myself. Some stuff has happened faster than I thought. So they did end up, like, just this week, I think it was actually Tuesday. No, yes, it was Tuesday, because it happened right before the live Disney show that we do. And they released annual pass holder preview tickets. And, they're still the regular price of a ticket. But as an annual pass holder, you can buy the one-day tickets. So you technically are the only people, I think, who could buy like 3 days in a row right now, as if you're an annual pass holder. I do believe you can also only buy them for yourself. Like every person that goes in has to be an annual pass holder. It's not like how I know at like Walt Disney World or Disneyland, if there's a hard ticket event, like a Mickey's Not So Scary or something like that, I, as an annual pass holder, can get in and buy like 8 tickets if my family's coming to, stuff like that. I kind of wish it was like that for this, because I do have a couple friends who aren't annual pass holders, and if I could get them to see this, I think they would become annual pass holders. But I feel like it'll happen sooner than later. I think they started with the release of those 3-day tickets, just to sort of gauge, the demand and the busyness of it. But that was also, I don't know. I think that was the thing where it was like, well, here's the benefit. If you're planning a Universal Orlando vacation, you'll be the first to be able to do this. And I don't want to be that guy too, who's like, it's also a way to, I feel like, charge way more for a ticket than you need to. But it also gets, I mean, it's kind of genius on the flip side of that, because here's the thing. If it's forcing you to buy that 3-day ticket and you are only coming to check out this one park, well, now you have a ticket to those other ones. So it kind of gets you to step foot in Universal Studios Florida and Islands of Adventure. So it's clever, I think, in one way. But do I have that sort of money? No. Do I think single-day tickets will become available for the end of the year? Yeah, it has to. It has to. I would assume we'll hear about it within the month, I think. I think that's like, if I was a betting person, I have this thing in my stomach that makes me feel this. My intuition is saying sooner than later, specifically for this. because I think the thing is they were trying to be like let annual pass holders do that, and then once then it'll be general public, and then again that way gauge the interest, but then also they're not going to leave money on the table, so there it goes. But if it's filled up with annual pass holders and these 3-day tickets, it's going to be crazy. Will the express passes from the premier hotels work at the new park? No, I don't think they will. I don't believe that like Helios comes with the express as well. I'm not sure how that's all going to happen. They haven't really released detail. You can buy Express for this park, and I know that Express does not include all attractions. I don't believe it includes Battle at the Ministry, Hiccups, the How to Train Your Dragon coaster, and like a third one. I could be wrong. I thought I saw that in the fine print. And again, I don't have it in front of me. Sorry, it's just my computer is like running everything. So I don't think so. I think not for a little bit, at least. Will it eventually? I think so. I think eventually it'll sort of like gauge. It'll be one of those things where, not interest gauge, but I think I have no idea when, but you got to think. I don't know. I'm worried they'll take it away from the other hotels because it is such a good deal, and now Express is so much. But I mean, I don't think they will. But we'll see. We've seen theme parks take away stuff before. That was great. But next question. I'm a local. I'm sorry, I'm not like answering these as detailed as I could be. I don't know. They're coming at me as they're coming. I'm a local in AP and I have Epic tickets for July. Is Universal charging for parking at Epic? Yes, I believe it's going to be the same situation as you would go to any theme park. At least when I visited, I did see, there's the toll plaza and you scan and it's going to be a whole thing. I do also know if you are somebody trying to beat that system, there's really no benefit to be parking at the hotels because those charge more than the parking for the parking lot for the park, and also parking where you are parking in this park. The parking lot's not as big as I expected it to be, so it's like it's a straightaway. It's right there. The closest place to be is either coming out of your hotel room at Helios Grand or parking in this parking lot. Parking in the parking garage at Helios Grand, I guess some people are going to do that. It's like $50 a day. I don't know if they validate or not. I feel like somebody asked that question at the event, but they didn't get back to us. But I got to imagine they might not. There's gonna be some sort of regulating people going in and out of parking there, but I don't know. I'll still be honest with you. I think the closest place to park is the regular parking garage. Is there ample amount of lockers in the park? I didn't see a lot of reports about this. So there, I will tell you this. Thank you for asking this question about lockers. A lot of these attractions require you to put your stuff in lockers. And like everything. There is some problem that I ran into. I had bought in the Dark Universe area for the Burning Blade Tavern, there is a wooden sign, and you know me, I love a theme park sign, and it has a bottle opener on it so that you could go, on it. And I was like, that's the coolest thing ever. I've always wanted one of these bottle openers somewhere, and what a great way. Now it's themed to Universal Monsters, but it's also like if you know, because it says like Burning Blade Tavern on it. It's circular, but it has these little ridges, like extra circular parts on the outside, and I could get it in my backpack, but it did not fit in the lockers for How to Train Your Dragon for the hiccup ride. And everywhere I went, I told them, I was like, it doesn't fit in these lockers. There's still a lot of training in process. And that's why we have these annual pass holder previews and the team member previews and everything. There was a lot of confusion about what to do. Basically at Hiccups, I had to carry it to the attraction and then hand it to the team member, and then they got it for me when I got off. But I don't know how that would work if I got off on the other side. It would be a lot, and it made me feel a little bit like, well, I really shouldn't have bought my merchandise earlier in the day, but I have a lot of anxiety around that stuff. And I literally just the other day, I walked into a park, saw something, I said, I'll get it on the way out, didn't have my size anymore. And I was like, this is why you buy it when you see it. I will check and see if there's just like general lockers that you can rent. So Jackie, I know that you are helping me cross these off. Just don't delete this document. And maybe, I'm saying this out loud, we could create another document, and these could all be the questions that we go and try and answer as we cover the park as it opens, so that we don't lose track of all of this. That would be very much appreciated. But I will check, because I didn't see any, but I also never used like the restroom or anything like that was in Celestial Park. The restrooms, talking about the restrooms are really fun. I love a themed restroom. And the Dark Universe area, the toilets and the urinals are black. But the How to Train Your Dragon area, their bathroom smells like pine. And the inside of this sink is like dragon skin, and there's like a big mural in it, and it's just like cool. I was like, oh, I want to go around to see all the bathrooms now. The Dark Universe one also has this like blood splatter outline, which was like kind of scary, but it's cool. Do we know that the history is on the Chronos, or is it a new Universal creation? I do believe this is the idea. It was created for this park. There is a story about like Celestial Park and the way it is. It's supposed to be this. The Chronos is the device, is the way that we gather this like energy to be able to travel. And like once we go through the Chronos, that is what gives us like the energy to be able to travel to these other worlds. It was a very detailed story. I have a hearing problem. So I couldn't really understand. I could only get like every other word, every third word of what this person was saying. And I didn't pick it up. It didn't pick up in my camera. But it was really detailed and interesting. So I would love to do another episode and really just go like, here's the complete story of this land. Maybe land. I just broke my own rule. They're worlds. Maybe we can do something where we'll do like a new type of an overview video where it is just like, let me show you and talk to you about everything that you can experience here. And just as like a 101. Oh yeah, that's what we need to do. A 101. There we go. We worked on this together. Thanks everybody. How was the How to Train Your Dragon show? Breathtaking. It is, for me, it is a do not miss in this park. Even if you don't know this, I think it's just really cool. One, air conditioning inside. It's very quick and to the point. Yes. Is it cheesy? For sure. But I find that every new scene was a demonstration of like these like puppets and all this cool stuff. I thought it's definitely worth seeing. Like I would see it again and again. Like I think this is going to be a must do for me. So I do really appreciate. And I'm not usually a show person. Like I feel like sometimes, because for me, it's that fear of like, it's like when you go in a queue too long, it like zaps your energy a little bit. And sometimes I worry about that with a show, but I really, really liked it. Will you be doing a Helios room hotel tour before they full open later this month? Yes, I believe that on our Instagram, which is the .diz, there is a reel that I videoed, and then our one of our coworkers, Jimmy, who's very good with, who's been great on social media. He's the one making all those memes, which are hilarious. I believe I sent him a video of that, and he got that up there, and it shows the room in it. And I have a little bit of video that I can also share. And hopefully we will get into the hotel before it opens in May, but we definitely have a reservation for the beginning of May. So as with everything that we do, there will be a video, and to share with all of you so you can get a check. I went into the rooms, obviously, because that's how we filmed it. What's really cool that, again, they gave me 30 seconds essentially. There's a button on the back wall that if you push it, the curtains slowly open or slowly close. And I love it. But also, I would sleep with the window. I know it's crazy because the sun will come up. I wish there was a way to put it on a timer. Maybe there is. I don't know yet. But because, like, you're going to want to, if you have a theme park view, you're going to want to sleep with that window open because, like, the park's going to be all lit up. And I can't wait. I really, really, like, cannot wait to experience that. I'm so excited. I did like the rooms. I thought they were nice. The shower's nice. The hotel itself is very classy. It's got really cool, they're doing this like really cool projection thing that like they have some I don't know the word for it. Like not molding, crown molding or something. Like there's details on a wall, like in where the elevators are, but there's like projection mapping happening on it. And it's like reflective of what's going on outside during the day too. So it's kind of cool. I really like that. And the bar that's on the rooftop is beautiful. I can't wait to get into the restaurants in there too. I'm very excited. I'm very excited for all of this. Do you think this park will give Disney a run for the money? So I don't like to really look at it like Universal versus Disney because that's not really what's happening here. I think that it was a thing that Universal was like, okay, I see you. We're going to step it up, you know? And I hope I hope what Disney takes from this park and having experienced it and seen it is that, okay, we see you, now watch us. Like I want that fun sort of elevation to continue because it's not really about that run for the money. I do think I do think a person who normally might come for a 4-day Disney vacation will start curbing off like one day to go over to Universal. I think that's what's going to start to happen is that they're really going to start cracking those people who are like diehards and start bringing them over there, which I think it's worth it. If you've never been, I think now would be the time to take the chance and just give it a shot. You know, yes. Excuse me. Yes, the risk is you lose a day at one of the I have the same dilemma when I go to Disneyland. I love Disneyland Park. And every now and then on a trip, like when I went to Super Nintendo World in Hollywood, I was like, well, it's going to mean sacrificing a day at Disneyland. And it's hard to be like, but what if I don't end up liking the day, you know, or what if it's a bad day or whatever? It was a great time. I'm happy I went, you know. Do I want to do that every trip? No, I don't think so. You know, and will I do it again? Yes, absolutely. So it got me to see it. And so that's the thing where I think they're going to start cracking people in that way. But what I really do hope it does, I'll say it time and time again, and people can disagree with me if you want. I can't compare these, at least the 4 worlds, the 4 like IP worlds. I can't compare that to anything at Disney. I don't even know what I would compare it to at Walt Disney World. I mean, obviously Animal Kingdom, beautifully themed park. I guess Pandora, but I think these are better than Pandora. I mean, Pandora's very pretty, but there's like stuff to do. Like there's the thing about the Harry Potter area. It's beautiful. There's places to eat, drink, but then you can do the wand magic and the attractions and the thing. I don't know. I'll be interested. I would love to revisit that topic, 6 months from now and just kind of, or maybe a month after it's open or something, and just kind of have that conversation about being like, you know, the theming and what would we like to see? How would we like to see Disney approach this or something like that? I mean, Disney, they deserve the credit that they get. They are the first people to do this. They are still, you know, top in the business, but this is the moment where it was like another competitor has entered the match. Like Diagon Alley set these bar. I love that Universal is essentially like, we can set a bar too. And so that's what I think this is doing, is it's setting a new bar. About sort of like, will this succeed? Do people want this? You know, what parts of these things work so that moving forward we can do it? It's the same way with like Galaxy's Edge. What of Galaxy's Edge works? What of Galaxy's Edge didn't? You know, how does that happen moving forward? Will it be implemented when Disney builds that new Cars Land? I don't know, you know. I'm not a thrill ride person. Worth it is the next question. I hate saying this again too, because I technically I'm not a thrill ride person either. Like it could be a park full of dark rides and I'd be thrilled. And the thing is with some of these rides is like they're new age attractions. So saying a thrill ride, sometimes I'm like, do you mean a roller coaster or do you mean just like exciting pace? Or I don't know, you know, everyone's got a little bit of a different definition of that. So I would say like, if you're someone who's like, no, I don't want to go on anything that moves too quick or this, I mean, I don't know. Are you going with family and friends? Are you going by yourself? That's sort of the thing where I don't really, if it was you going by yourself and you're like, I'm not really a thrill ride. I mean, how much do you like looking around at theme parks and themed lands? If you like that, I think it's totally worth it. You know, if you're somebody who's like, I also think if you're somebody who loves thrill rides, I think it's worth it, because I'm going to tell you the scariest thing I've ever done in my life is one side of that Stardust Racers. Like I was like, I am going to die here, and I don't know what to do about it. Just die, I guess. But like I think like if you love Velocicoaster, this is the next version of that. But I also think there's a lot to offer because like Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge isn't really a thrill ride, and it's fun. Like it's cute. Do I want to wait an hour and something for it? No. But you know, it's not crazy fast moving or anything like that. The carousel I like a lot. You know, I'm hoping I'll like a lot of the food and drinks. Let's hope. Fingers crossed. Jeez. Gosh, what if all that opens and it's all terrible and we're just like, oh no. That's the part where I'm like, I'm going to assume it's going to deliver because everything I've eaten there so far, I have enjoyed. I will say, you know, and liking some stuff more than others, but I haven't had anything where I was like, well, that was terrible. There was a question about how much are prices for Epic. So they can start from $139 for 10 and up, or $134 for 3 to 9 for a 1-day, 1-park Epic ticket. But that is an annual pass holder ticket, right? That's not. They don't sell the individual day ticket yet. Also, I don't know that this information is correct because I saw tickets that were $119. And that was in June. There's like 2 days in June and there's 2 days in September or August that have that, but that was for my annual pass holder ticket. So I don't know if the 1 day, I'm a little confused about this. Sorry. So I don't think they sell 1 day, 1 park tickets yet for like a regular guest, unless I'm insane. And please, somebody text message me that works at the Diz and correct me if I am misspeaking, because I can't get messages from anyone, anywhere else. So, how would you compare they're not lands, they're worlds, immersion in comparison to Galaxy's Edge? I feel like the first thing I thought about Galaxy's Edge, you guys know I like Galaxy's Edge, but it really became a thing. Like there was me before I went to Epic Universe, how I feel about Galaxy's Edge, and now there's me after Epic Universe, how I feel about Galaxy's Edge. And I honestly feel like, hold on one second. Jackie is answering me. She says she got those prices from the Universal site, but I can't see the pass holder rate since I'm not a pass holder. But I thought they didn't sell 1 day tickets yet. When did they start that? Well, now I'm going to feel like an idiot because I feel like earlier in this I spoke too long about the 3-day ticket thing. Okay. The immersion in Galaxy's Edge, I feel like this does shine a light very heavily on the fact that, like, listen, Rise of the Resistance, probably my favorite attraction at Walt Disney World, at Disneyland. Like, but, and I think it's an incredible attraction, incredible attraction. But these areas are really going to shine a light on the fact that there aren't. Why is it just Ray, Chewie, and that other girl, V, and why? You know, and sometimes Stormtroopers, Kylo Ren. I don't know. The land doesn't feel as alive as I want it to be anymore. And I think that's a big part of it. But will that happen at Epic Universe eventually? I know that basically all of the entertainment for Celestial Park was canceled. So I don't know that this won't eventually happen here. And will you say without those characters and that sort of fun stuff, does it change how you feel about the land? Time will tell, I think. So, but I think Galaxy's Edge can be great if it takes some of these notes. Like I just want a little bit more life. I want a little bit more fun. I want some events, stuff like that. Okay, I'm sorry. I misspoke earlier in this episode. They are selling individual tickets apparently. I did not know that. And Jackie says she pulled these numbers from the site. So $139 for 10 and up, $134 for 3 to 9 for the 1 day, 1 park Epic Universe ticket. So that's great. And that must be like brand new though. So like we'll put that in an article, I think maybe somewhere. But yeah, that's really good to know. Thank you very much, Jackie, for checking on that for me while I'm going through this. Because that is a really big deal. And also it's one of those things where I'm like, can we return the 3-day tickets we bought? Change it to 1-day tickets. Like, are they selling 1-day tickets for the opening? I don't know. I don't have that in front of me right now. with all 3 Harry Potter lands now out, what land of the 3 is the best? Okay, so this is difficult. I was actually thinking about this very thing the other night. Because I was thinking about Diagon Alley and how cool Diagon Alley is. Diagon Alley feels like it's the blueprint for how they went forward with all the Epic Universe worlds, where they were like, when you are in Celestial Park, you can see over a little bit, but when you are in the other worlds, for the most part, you kind of can only see the world. Like in How to Train Your Dragon, I can see Stardust Racers. I mean, this roller coaster is gigantic. How can you not see it? But when I'm in like the Wizarding World, I can't see anything. And the sets for this are enormous. I think the construction of the Wizarding World Ministry of Magic is the best in terms of like very wide walkways, lots of different stores, lots of different alleys to go down, nooks and areas. I think what's really cool, the Goblet Noir, which is one of the restaurants, it like kind of goes in and it does a really good job of a lot of that like sort of wizarding things that I love in the movies, where they'll go in somewhere that looks really small and then it's huge. It's the TARDIS effect, right? It's always bigger on the inside. And I love that everywhere in here. So I do think in terms of that, it's great. There's a lot of magic areas to do, too. They've got the characters walking around. I haven't been able to dine yet, but everything looks so fancy. This is like the fancy wizarding area. With that said, it's hard because I don't have the emotional attachment to this as I do Diagon Alley and Hogsmeade. Hogsmeade, Diagon Alley, I'm like, I very much have watched movies where they have repeatedly gone in this area. The Paris one, you're like, do they only go to that one in the second one? Or is the first one? I don't know. And so it's one of those where you're like, I don't know. But the area itself, gorgeous. So it's like kind of, and the ride is incredible. The attraction is incredible. I can't wait to watch the show. So like my thing with Diagon Alley is like, but there's only one ride. And they do, a little show and they have the, whatever, but I don't know. It's sort of that where it's like it kind of this area dwarfs Diagon Alley, so I don't know though. I think maybe like nostalgically for being like the dragon, the whatever. I like that one, but it's good. It's up there. Have they said anything about the accessibility card and if they will allow use of it during the previews? I do believe I can confirm that I have seen the disability card used, and I do believe it works the same way that it already currently does. The one I'm familiar with was I've traveled with someone to Halloween Horror Nights who had one once, and basically it's sort of like if the wait time I think is over a certain amount of time, they give you you're basically waiting in the line and getting a return for later. So if a line is an hour long, like it's 2:00 and you go up and it says 60 minutes, they're going to give you a time that says come back at like 2:50 or something like that. It's like that. And I did see it in use during the previews. So I hope that helps. I don't know the process of how to get one or what documentation you need to prove it or who's approved for Universal Orlando. That might be the Universal Orlando Resort. That also might be a good article for our site, so we can look into that as well. These questions are great. Thank you for asking these, so that so we know where to look and where we're missing stuff. So if I don't know if Jackie, if you're still in this document, if you just want to asterisk that too for a follow up, but this is the big question. People are like Monsters Unchained or Battle at the Ministry, and I think my heart belongs to the monsters. I think the thing I like about this one is not that I don't love Battle at the Ministry. It's one of those ones where I'm like, God, I'm not. I feel like it's gonna be harder to get on that one again. But also that nausea part at the beginning. But it's really cool element, and there's so much. The Battle at the Ministry is massive sets. Like I don't know that I've ever really experienced like. The tour guide compared it to that Spider-Man, which I talked about earlier, that Spider-Man effect meets Rise of the Resistance at Hollywood Studios, which I also would agree with that in terms of like, if you're familiar with Rise of the Resistance, you go into this room where there are giant AT-ATs. It's like that, but the entire time. It's just like floor to ceiling, insane theming. It's incredible. Absolutely incredible. No, I didn't get to try the butterbeer crepes. That's the next question. And I literally was like, I want to get a butterbeer crepe. I want to get a butterbeer crepe. I want to get a butterbeer crepe. And it was like, when I don't think they were serving them for a second, but they are serving them again. So that is like priority 1 for me next time. I want to get that. I did get I had 2 of the Harry Potter beers that they make exclusively for over there. There was one that was a Saison. I just can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. I know I have a picture on my phone. Or no, I don't have a picture on my phone because I couldn't take a picture then. But I had a Wizarding Brew, and there was no picture to take of this, like, because there was no detail on it, and the app wasn't working correctly. But it was like the Wizarding Brew beer, or Wizard's Brew beer, and that one was really good. It had like toffee, sort of nutty flavors. It wasn't like a stout. It definitely looks darker, but it was really good. Like, I'm gonna get that again. Also, the Monsters area, they have a beer. It's like a Reaper or something or other. That was good. It was giving me like Christmas vibes a little bit. It was like vanilla, cinnamon, sort of that sort of thing. Do you think the AP dates coming up, will I be able to ride most of the rides without Express and just going on a single rider, or should I expect I won't be able to? Oh, without Express and just going on single rider. Yeah, I think so. Well, so I don't know, because our assuming that the crowd levels are the same as they are for when I went for this event. Yes, I do believe if you were a single rider for this stuff and you were just going through everything, I think that you're going to be able to do a lot of it, if not all of it. But it is like, baby, you got to be ready to go opening tonight. Like, I was impressed with how many single rider things there were. If the crowd levels are the same as it was, and everything is functioning correctly and everything is open, I do believe you will be able to accomplish quite a bit, if not almost all of it. But you have to open your app, pay attention to wait times. Don't commit to being like, I'm staying in this one world to do everything. Like, you gotta be it's like how I would do like a Halloween Horror Nights thing. It's like, you gotta go to where the line is the shortest, even if it's not the thing you definitely want to do. Like, you gotta figure out, oh, this will get worse or this will get better. Like, you've got to be on your toes with that app to be able to do it. So, you mentioned how many attractions? I don't know exactly how many attractions have a single rider, but I believe like Mario, the Mario Kart had one. I know Monsters had one. I cannot remember if Battle at Ministry had one or not, because it's like it doesn't really, the signs aren't really, you know how the Harry Potter attractions are. But there were other attractions that definitely had a single ride. I'm just like thinking of it in my head. There definitely were. I off the top of my head, I don't know, but I saw it at a couple, like a bunch. So, it's something that I would definitely take advantage of. Sometimes it's not always faster, but Universal's pretty good about closing lines when they're not, when it's no longer like functioning correctly. Question: how much is the Mario Band for the Nintendo Land? They did. I will say this: Universal Orlando gave me one, and they gave me a wand to be able to do magic. Which then we didn't really even end up having time to do any of that. But I believe they're around like $40. I could be. Don't like quote me on that price, because it was something where like I will do a shopping video, so you can stay tuned to that. We'll talk about all of that, because if you know me, you know I love merchandise. Like, I love merchandise design. I love this whole thing. Actually, I also did bring a piece of merchandise to show you that right before we leave, I'll run over and grab it. Let me just run through some of these questions here while we have them. We just have a couple more, and then I think eventually I'm going to have to stop, because I'm kind of getting tired of talking. But I do appreciate all of you being in here and asking all these questions, and I hope this is helping some of you. And like I said, I'm just sorry I can't be as thorough with some of them, but we are marking them as we go in our document to make sure that we can get back to you with answers. Diane is asking, does it look like there will be any Express Pass access? The Express is already on sale. You can buy it for opening day through whenever, which was shocking to me, because I thought the rumor was it wasn't going to be for months, but it is on sale and it's there. I saw the queues for it and everything. And I believe, like I said, I think it works for like pretty much all attractions, except for there were 3 that were listed, one being Battle at Ministry, the Hiccup roller coaster, and I'm not sure. I don't know what the other one is. I don't again, I don't have that in front of me, and but I would obviously when we do it for our videos, we'll keep you abreast of that situation, because also I want to is it worth it? Like, will there end up being a backup? Does it make the lines that much worth? All that stuff. I was like, this is important because it ain't cheap to buy Express here either. And if you're not familiar, I believe that Universal's system for Express is basically like, it starts at like a base price, but however popular it becomes, it continues to get more expensive. I do believe it can sell out, but it can get pretty get pretty expensive. Okay, let me see here. What do you think the hours will be when fully open? I hope it goes into the night, because from my experience in this park, it definitely looked like it's meant to be, like, it is begging you to experience it at night. I mean, the Monsters gateway, first of all these worlds have these really cool screens around them as you go in, which I really hope guests don't ruin that. Like, I hope it doesn't become a thing where someone tries to haul off and punch one really hard, but I gotta think they're impact resistant and stuff. But I feel like the Monsters, like, portal, I know it has like a light. There's a whole effect that happens in the land that you can see it during the day, but it is going to be something to witness at night. And it has something to do with like lightning striking like the portal entrance, I think. But then also there's like electricity that flows into the mansion. There's like a whole sound effect that happens out in the land and everything. And so I can't wait to like see that. The carousel, all of the like animals that you ride, because it's all based around constellations, they have like little tiny lights in them and everything. And then the carousel's like umbrella is lit. And I noticed when we were leaving, if you look at the ground, there was like music playing at the end of the night, and there was like lights doing like a light show under my feet. And I was just like, oh wow. So I can't wait to kind of see what that looks like at night. I'm right now, I believe they switched the team member testing to be like 1 to 10. So I'm hoping when it opens, I'm guessing but the testing was 10 to 6 or 10 to 7 to start with. I'm thinking maybe it'll be like a 9 to 7. It could be like a 9 to 10. I'm not sure. I would imagine they want to keep it open longer. So, kind of see how that plays out. I'm hoping it'll be later, especially in the fall into the winter, because those are the times of year I really want to get out there. What everyone wants to know, which land has the best bathroom? I think so far for me, of the ones I have used, I think it is How to Train Your Dragon so far. Did I use the one in the Wizarding World? I don't think so. No, I didn't use the Wizarding World one yet. So I don't know if there's any magic in it, but the one I'm telling you, like, it blasted in the face with the smell of pine, like you're on ET, which was great. So far, I think How to Train Your Dragon, and this one specifically was near like the show exit, I believe. Would you say the screen sizes are comparable to Flight of Passage? I'm assuming you're asking about the battle at Ministry. I would say it is. I don't know. I think it's larger. There's something about, I don't love Flight of Passage. I don't like that how much of the mechanics you can see of the ride. This doesn't really have, at least I didn't notice. Again, I've only ridden it once, so I can't, it's like in my brain, my eyes did not see a seam to the screen. And so I'm talking like, it might be bigger. I don't know. I could be wrong. Do I think someone with chronic pain could ride Ministry of Magic and or Monsters? I would say that Ministry of Magic. So Monsters is a kook arm. So if you know what a kook arm is like, put your elbow on a table and hold your hand out like a monster hand. And now think of like a haunted mansion or like a people mover or a moving sidewalk, and like so it's like that sort of a thing, and the ride moves like this. Like on joints. The monster one moves very unique. Like it does this like swing around. Did I think it was like rough? No, I felt pretty secure in the seat. It wasn't like, I didn't feel like I was like rattling necessarily, but it does like flip and go backward, not backwards. Somebody asked me this, and this was an important question because it was about the Whomping Willow. Do you go further back than the Whomping Willow. No, in the Whomping Willow scene in Forbidden Journey, I feel like stuff is going to fall out of my pockets. In the Monsters Unchained, I didn't really have that sensation, but there is a part where you are basically on your back for a moment or two, and but I didn't feel like it tilted further back than that. So you're basically horizontal, but I didn't really think of it as necessarily a rough ride. The Ministry one, I do feel like because you're in this elevator and it's supposed to be this sort of like like they hit the elevator stuff and it gets shaken and stuff. I felt like maybe that one felt a little more rough. I will tell you, the roller coaster, the Stardust Racers, was like the smoothest roller coaster I've ever been on in my entire life. I don't know how they did that, but so I'm not sure. I think if you've done Forbidden Journey, asking about that chronic pain, I think you would definitely be able to do this. So if you have that to measure it by, that's how I would. What was my biggest wow moment throughout the whole experience? I will say my jaw hit the floor basically 3 times. Or more, but I felt like when you come through the portal and you step around to see the Ministry of Magic area, it is massive sets, gorgeous looking area, and it's just like wow. That I felt like it happened when I went into Burke. I love the monsters thing, but for me, it was in the monsters attraction. When it started, it was there's the animatronics right in that room, and you see some. I felt like there were more monsters in there than I expected, and that's what I want to say about that. Yeah, I'd say there. I mean, I cried in the How to Train Your Dragon show when that thing happened. So there was a bunch of wow moments, and I have this feeling I'm still gonna have 1 or 2 more. So, do you think the new bear character will catch on like Orange Bird or Duffy or Earl the Squirrel for Epic? I don't know, because the only thing is Captain Cacao is what they're speaking of. He, I believe, sails the stars with a friend, and they are on a mission to find chocolate. One of the team members explained it to me, and I was like, okay. And he seems to be very popular. What's cool is there's a plush of him, but there's also a backpack plush where he holds on to you, and it's pretty big. And I know there's stuff for shirt and things like that. Will he catch on? I think only time will tell. I think he will if the shop is good. The shop is not open yet to try. So I hope he does. Does the Mario Kart ride make you motion sick? I don't do well with anything involving wearing glasses. Okay. Yeah, so I understand that feeling. It's very unique in terms of I don't think it really causes me motion sickness. I don't think I took Dramamine when I did it in Hollywood, and I wasn't bothered. The thing that's weird. So they're not really 3D glasses. It's a plate of glass that goes up over your face, but it's AR. So you still see the world around you, and then it's just like a cartoon. Like the thing is in front of you. And what I feel like is the mechanics of getting used to, so you have to turn, see, and then shoot, because whatever you're clicking and shooting at, you have to be looking at it to aim. So you're your head is the trigger. So it does involve looking around. It does have a slight spin. I don't think it 360 spins. It just does it whatever, but it's a very slow moving attraction. I'd say maybe the Rainbow Road part would make you nauseous, but it lasts for 5 seconds or so. It's not very long. Well, maybe 30 seconds, but the AR is very unique. I think the next time I ride it, I'm going to take the glass off, because there are some beautifully constructed physical sets in this attraction that I feel are wasted, because I can see some of them, but most of the time I'm looking right at the glass. So I'm I'm not really paying attention to it. Do I actually think that Universal will continue to have the walk around characters past all the media previews? Oh yeah, 100%. I think, like I said, in the How to Train Your Dragon area, they have an area built for a character specifically. And then also they had 2 walk around characters. They were something like Rough Nut and something. And then in monsters, I feel like it's part of it, so they have to. I mean, I definitely think I'd like to see Igor. I've been seeing Igor pop up, and it looks like he's kind of funny and stuff. But I think the characters will stick around for a while. Trying to think in Universal parks where they also would have walk around characters, but I would compare it to maybe it sort of becomes like how I mean the superheroes still come out in Marvel Superhero Island. I would compare it to that sort of situation. How far is Epic from the other parks by car? Like I said, it was a 15 to a 20-minute ride for that one. You know, again, I would probably take their buses, but heard Dark Universe ride is rough and shakes you around. How bad was it? I didn't. I did it. I did it single rider 3 times in a row. And you know me and how I do on attractions. Essentially, at this point, I've said it, like with motion sickness, with being jostled. I don't like my head getting jostled and stuff. And I was unbothered. I would have ridden it a 4th time if they let me. So I loved it. I was like, I'm gonna test this and see, can I do it? I did single rider, and I just went 3 times, like without even walking back through the queue. Like I got off the ride, had to go up and then come back up, like, you know, a little bit circulate around. But it wasn't. It really wasn't that bad. I mean, I was not really bothered. Like, it wasn't physically demanding on my body, I feel like when I finished, even with the Dramamine, when I finished the Stardust Racers, I did the more intense side. I was like, okay, I am shaking. I need to like have some water, sit down. Like, you know, it was that sort of a thing. I see another question here. I've been wondering if it explains how in the Harry Potter world we're in the 20s Paris and then in the 2000s London for the ride. Yes. So I will tell you, and this is like a minor spoiler for the ride. I mean, it's the story of the ride. I think they already released it, but it does involve so it is about the trial of Dolores Umbridge. So the attraction takes place post 7 part 2. Like I actually can't put my finger on like how long after it. But judging by what the characters looked like, I would say it was like pretty much like right after it, right after they were done with all that. And, I feel like it's about time turners. I'm just going to tell you. So the attraction does involve. So it's like, it is about time traveling sort of, but it's not like, oh, we're sending you back to 1920s. I think it's just the movies didn't do well and they changed course on the attraction, and I am more than okay with that. The attraction, the queue, somebody asked earlier about my jaw on the ground. When I walked through the Flu Network into the Ministry of Magic, it was incredible. I have never it's like floor to ceiling, this beautiful green tile. Fan of the movie or not, it is one of the most gorgeous queues. It is one of those things where no picture or video will do it justice. It is incredible. Okay. I think that's probably going to do it for me now, just because it's been about, we're getting on an hour and a half here. Again, if you're still watching, like the video, thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, click that bell button. You'll get notified whenever we publish new content. I'm going to show you something in a second, though, before you go, if you want to see one of the pieces of merchandise. If you are listening to this, rate and review the podcast wherever you consume that content. That would be great. Would really love that feedback. And I just want to say again, thank you for being here. Thank you to our Patreon supporters. And don't forget about Dreams Unlimited Travel when booking that next Universal vacation. Hold on one second. I'm going to grab 2 things to show you really quick. Okay, so somebody asked about the bear. This is the bear that they were talking about. This is Captain Cacao. He's got a cute little hat. He's from Moonshine Chocolates and Celestial Sweets. And he is, his story's right here. He is a chocolate bear who is Maya the Explorer's navigator. Together, they're constantly scouring the cosmos for new candies and confections to share with Celestial Park. And there is like a backpack version of this guy, but he's like sits on the Universal set back there. And then, it was in the original thumbnail for the other video. I like the merchandise here. I know some people have said like, oh, less than thrilled, whatever. There's tons of Super Nintendo World merchandise. And there's tons of Monsters merchandise for basically almost the big, I feel like the Bride, Frankenstein, Gilman, Werewolf, Dracula, those guys. There wasn't like Mummy or Phantom or stuff like that yet that I saw. And then there's stuff for like Burning Blade. But then also there's, the Harry Potter stuff. They make the wand holders. A lot of stuff has wand holders now. All the bags and everything have wand holders in them. Finally, jeez, it's been years. Why they're finally selling stuff that you can carry a wand with in the park, which is great. I really appreciate that. There was like a new Quidditch collection. And then the How to Train Your Dragon stuff, tons of different type of merch. I am going to tell you, don't go into one gift shop and think, oh, you saw it all. Like their giant gift shop at the exit of the lands at the park, it doesn't have it all. Like there was a glass mirrored butterbeer sign that I want that was only available in the sweet shop in the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. And then, so it was one of those like, don't save it for the end of the night, but like I don't know, be conscious of when everything closes, because then you're gonna have to run back and get it and then come back. But there's a lot of maybe people were saying they're upset about like the Epic Universe merch, because it's t-shirts, sweatpants, shorts, hats, bags, whatever, and being like not as impressed with that. But I was more about like, I want the land stuff. So but I thought was like one of the coolest things is their Wolfman headpiece. There are ears. There are like, it's like a fluffy headband that have little ears that you can get. I just don't like the design of those ones because it's really thick on the side, so it makes my head look really wide, so it's not very flattering. Like they need to shave that part down so there's just ears up here in your hair. There was a Frankenstein like bolt, like a choker that you can get. There's one that's like a hairband. So there's like fun stuff, but this I love. Somebody said to me, they're like, I wish it was foam, and I'm like, I don't know, I like this. It's like, it's hard plastic, and it looks like my dog when he's mad. It looks like Rocket right before he bites me. But like it goes on your head like here. And I wore it, and I was literally like the only person in the park wearing this, and I'm okay with that. But everybody would like point, like, and I was like, I don't think they knew it was from this park in this area. But when I wore this into the Monsters area by the ride, everybody at the werewolf ride was just like, you've been bitten. Like, everybody was into it. It was great. So you catch me having photos in this nonstop, but I like this. And also I was like, this is going to be my Halloween costume. So, I don't know. I thought that was really cool merchandise. I got a bag that I really like. That was a really decent size, good park size bag. That was also the Wolfman, and a shirt and some stuff. So I like it. But there'll be some shopping videos. Don't you worry. So keep those questions coming. If you have them, leave more questions in the comment section of this video. Leave more questions. You can do it on that Instagram post. You can do it. You can send them to us, I guess, on Facebook. I don't know anything about Facebook. But we'd love those questions. We have highlighted some of your questions in here to research further. So we do really appreciate all of you out there for kind of giving us the prompts and knowing like what you want and the content that you're looking for. So please, please, please do that, because we will be visiting these parks again, between now and opening, and of course as it opens, and we'll be doing dining reviews and things like that here, because I want to be able to tell you like, oh my God, this was so good, or like pass. I did get a Donkey Kong like mug, like a DK barrel mug that it was, they didn't have the signs up yet for it, but it was like they said it was like Dole Whip soft serve inside of a waffle cone with like toffee and caramel corn on it, and then like Fanta soda in the bottom. Somebody was like, was it banana? And I'm like, I don't think so. I think it was pineapple, because that's all I really got. It might have been pineapple banana, but I was like, I didn't really get banana out of it. I liked it a lot, honestly. I had it at just the right time of day, I think. So so I look forward to trying more of that stuff. I know there's a lot of mocktails in this park. I know there's like in the Monsters area in the Burning Blade Tavern, if you're like, well, I don't want to go there. Do I want to give you my tip? You can mobile order, and you can pick it up at the outside where there's seating area, or you can go inside and there's characters in there, like bar people. But they also, I didn't notice because it wasn't in the mobile ordering app. They have themed cocktails for the Monsters area in that bar. But they have a mocktail there that was specifically made for that too. So there's a lot of attention to detail when it comes to that sort of stuff. So we will be digging deeper and deeper and deeper into that. But I think that's going to do it for me, just because, like I said, my voice is killing me. I need some water. But thank you, everybody, for tuning in. If you tuned in live or you watched it back later or you're listening out there, I really appreciate all of you and your continued support. So thank you so much. I guess I'll see you next time. So remember, be excellent to each other. Bye, everyone.